What's going on, family? Take it to the lab. Back with another reaction/review. It's your boy Jeff.
And I'm Tasha.
And today we got something real special for you. It's a reaction, a first-time reaction. Now, Tupac, off All Eyes on Me, the song Mind Made Up. Inspectah Deck had a verse that got taken off the song. I never heard the verse. She never heard the verse. We finna react to that verse. First time ever hearing it. I ain't never heard it. We're gonna pull it up. I'm gonna do something a little different this time. I'm gonna have the lyrics on the screen. Y'all gonna see it right with us. And something special for today. I ain't chopping it up or nothing. You getting everything right like it is. So you're welcome. Now, I ain't gonna be doing that every time though, but right now y'all gonna get the whole thing. So we're gonna check this verse out. I did, short videos on Method Man's verse and Redman's verse. Everybody talked about Deck's verse, Inspectah Deck. Everybody talked about how Inspectah Deck verse was the best one on there and Pac should have never took it off and all that. So now I really want to hear it. And Inspectah Deck nice too, so we finna find out. So Inspectah Deck, Mind Made Up, the hidden verse, the lost tape, the lost version, the lost verse or whatever. We finna get into it, so let's do it. We're gonna rate it, do all that at the end. But right now, we're just gonna get right to it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I set the mic in flames, my name Iron at the level. Murder one style, smash mind, stakes the pebbles. Mental terrorist, specialist at this. Menacing, lyricist, see through the fish list. And design their minds, we walk like nine. To paralyze everything is ring like door time. Let's start to turn like police who fast. Hit a blast, my crew was through like tear gas. Fuck a mask, we lace to place like the marshals. Sparkle like diamonds, but harmless cartoon. Reckless rhymes start relentless. Ruckus and fuck up the party for you paying motherfuckers. Once I commence for your ladies and gents, I keep rhymes. Sharper than worldwide fence. The live and direct from Killer Hill Project. Second out of New York, you can't help but to walk. Lay it on your gentle, that's if you want it hostile. Dancing on the ground, I write my rhymes on fossils. Tools like this, force me to get you open. Lyrically wet you up, and then you're soaking.
Hey, okay.
Hey, that was dope.
All right.
Hey,
That was dope. That was dope. Man, I need to hear it again. Like, man, that was dope.
Man.
I'm ready to go back and look at some of these lyrics, though. That was tough. He Inspectah Deck and really Wutang period be on some real intricate, you know what I'm saying, rhyming. The rhyme style is a little bit different, but he was saying some stuff. I'm going to go back and analyze a little. So y'all finna get some real, take it to the lab situation here. So he said, I set the mic in flames. My name's INS the Rebel. Murder one style, smash my state, the pebbles. Mental terrorist specialist at this. Menacing lyricist, leave crews defenseless. Hand design landmines that go off like nines to paralyze everything. Ears ring like door chimes. Heads start to turn like police who pass. Hear the blast. My crew rush through like tear gas. Fuck a mask. We lace the place like marshals. Sparkle like diamonds, but harmful as car fumes. He be putting a lot of
metaphorical
words. A lot of stuff into single bars. Like he got a lot going on in them.
Yep.
Reckless rhymes start relentless ruckus and fuck up the party for you paying motherfuckers. Just, you know what I'm saying, on some rowdy Wutang shit. He said, once I commence for you ladies and gents, I kick rhymes sharper than barbed wire fence. The live and direct from Killer Hill Projects, Staten Island, New York. Can't help but to hawk. And then he say, lay it on gentle. That's if you want it hostile. Sound so underground, I write my rhymes on fossils.
That's dope.
That's
that's dope. I never heard that.
That's underground.
Yeah.
You write your rhymes on fossils. First of all, fossils is hundreds and thousands of years old.
Millions of years old.
Millions of years
dinosaurs.
Old. Fossils, but where do you find fossils? Under the ground. He said, my sound so underground, I write my rhymes on fossils. That's tough.
crazy.
He said, tools like this force me to get you open, lyrically wet you up until you soaking. And then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, dope verse. Like
It
I
is a
said,
dope
real
verse.
intricate rhyme scheme, rhyme style. You know what I'm saying? That Wutang. It's just something about it. I can't never find the right word to say, but it's like, it's something about how you know, especially Deck, Jizza, you got, you know what I'm saying? All like Meth, Raekwon, and Ghost to me was a little bit different. They was a little bit like what we used to, you know what I'm saying? The other ones was like real on some intricate, like just straight New York, Staten Island.
Except for
ODB was different, period.
He was in his own lane.
ODB was a whole nother
I like ODB. He was in his own lane, but
ODB was brilliant and nobody didn't really peep it. He used to act crazy to hide how brilliant he was for whatever reason. And he used to do a lot of good stuff in the community. Study up on ODB if you don't know. But so everybody said this verse was the dopest verse on the song, and I kind of got a theory why. First of all, I'm gonna give my answer to that. I don't think it was the best verse on the song, even if it was left on there. It was dope though. That don't mean it's not a good verse. It was dope. I think it was. I don't think it was the best verse on the song. I'm still up in the air about who was the best verse because when I listen to Red, I'll be like, "Ooh," I listen to Meth, but then Pac. So mandatory, my elevation and every like orientation, or you know what I'm saying. So you can be more familiar with the nigga you facing. So any one of them could be, and corrupt. corrupt
I wasn't
verse.
Gonna say nothing.
Yeah, corrupt verse on tough. So, but no, I don't think Deck is the best. I don't think this would have been the best verse, although it's a dope verse. I got more on that. But what you think?
Oh, I thought you was about to go. Okay, well,
do you think it would be? Do you think?
No, I don't think it's the best verse on, or if it was on there, it's not the best verse, or would have been the best verse on the actual albums or on the song. So I would say no. I agree with you. There are other verses that I like, but yeah, it's a dope verse though. Like it's something that is definitely a talking piece, and I think that's why the whole conversation of it
that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting to next because
it's a good talking piece. Because it's like I'm not saying that his stuff isn't. I'm not saying that his bars aren't worthy of being on the song.
Nah, it's definitely worthy of being on the song. At the same time,
it's like
I feel like
I can see why it was left off.
Well, Corrupt talked about why it was left off.
No, I'm saying as far as like, you know, from a fan standpoint, like.
Yeah, but that ain't the reason why it got left off. But Corrupt talked about that on another video where he said the music had ended and they would have had to extend the beat or loop it some more. And Pac just was like on some like, ain't no more music, ain't no more rap. Like he just like, that's it. That's why at the end you hear INS the Rebel. Yeah. You still hear that because they left that in just to show he was still there. Yeah. But Pac was like, if the music ended, that's it. Ain't nobody else going on it. But the reason I feel like I think everybody is like Inspectah Deck verse, well, he had the best verse and that it's because it's the one that got left off. So you always hold something in a higher regard if it ain't there no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the girlfriend that got away. Like, damn, boy, she was gonna be the one. She was gonna be like, she probably wasn't, but because she got away, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't miss it till you don't have it no more or something. So since that verse got taken off, everybody like, he took Deck's verse off. It was the hardest one, and Pac was hating on Deck, and I seriously doubt that was the case, but that's what a lot of y'all saying in the comments on our, TikTok videos and all that. Pac was hating. Pac took Deck off. He didn't want. I doubt that, because if he was hating like that, he wouldn't have left Meth's verse on there, Redman, none of them niggas, because all of them was spitting. So,
but at the same time, the other rumor was that basically Pac put Meth and Red's verse on there. It wasn't even supposed to be on there. Remember, because the Dog Pound said, or Corrupt,
but they was on it.
Dad said it was a part of a song they were doing. Pac jumped on the song.
No. what it was. They was already gonna be on the song, but the song was gonna be on Daz's album.
Right, but it wasn't gonna be Pac though.
It wasn't gonna be Pac's song. When Pac got out of jail, everything that was hot in Death Row, they gave it to Pac.
Yeah.
Some of them songs that was on All Eyes on Me wasn't originally gonna be Pac's song, but they was hot songs so they gave it to Pac. Pac dropped his lyrics, and then whoever else was on it. So. But Red and Meth was original. They was on it. It was going to be on Daz's album,
and that's the reason why I brought it up, because when the beef came, that's what they was talking about. How Meth and Red jumped on Pac's song when Pac and Big was beefing, and that's why I said.
But that was the talk. But that ain't how it really went.
But I said that's what I was getting at, because Daz actually explained that Pac wasn't even supposed to be on the song with Meth and them and all that on there, because even Meth, one of them said something about it as well. Like, that wasn't what we were originally there for. We weren't, he said it ain't like we was sitting there and was like, yeah, we're going to get on Pac's song. He said that's not how it happened. They had already had a song with the Dog Pound, Daz and Corrupt, and he said they were doing a song for them, and then Pac jumped on it. So
he didn't jump on it. They gave him the song. So obviously,
that had a lot to do. Probably had a lot to do with the controversy of Inspectah Deck's verse being off of it, because they probably took him off to put Pac verse on there.
Well, the song is about a little over 5 minutes long. Maybe they didn't want the track to be longer, or whatever reason. It's somebody to know the 100% truth, but we speculate. You know what I'm saying? As fans,
all I'm saying is somebody had to go, because
but my thing is, if they really wanted him on there, they could have looped the beat a little longer and left him on there. You know what I'm saying? Pac was just on some like, that's it, it's over.
Right.
He ain't no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So according to what Corrupt said, he said that's how Pac was, and Corrupt was in the room. So Corrupt would know.
I agree. And all I was saying is that somebody had to go, because if the song is only going this much, then who got to go? You ain't taking Meth off. You're not taking Red off.
Well, I think it was more so he was just the last one on the end.
Yeah,
it was like,
and Pac slid right in before them. So that's
it might not have mattered. It might not have mattered who it was. If they were at the end and it got cut off, they wasn't going to be on there. Yeah, according to what Pac said.
But you knew Pac was going to be on it, so he was going to find his way. He started it off.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, of course that. But I'm saying it might not have mattered if it would have been. It could have been Redman on the end, and if the music cut off, Pac probably would have said the same thing.
That's true. But I'm sure they probably worked it in for Meth and Red to be on there.
I mean, probably so. You know what I'm saying?
That's just my theory. Yeah.
But
no.
I just feel like it was I think since he was the last one at the end of the song, it was just a situation where it's the end of the song, and Pac was on some like, let's move on to the next song. Ain't no more music. Cut it off right there. Boom. Yeah, and whoever was, I think Daz produced it. Who produced that?
Probably Daz.
I think Daz produced that.
Because they said
Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments who produced that song. I could easily look it up right now, but y'all let me know who produced that. I think it was Daz. I'm pretty sure it was Daz. But whoever it was, Corrupt was saying on the little interview he was doing that whoever produced it, they left that INS the Rebel at the end.
And that was actually dope.
Yeah, because I used to wonder I used to wonder who that was. I didn't even know Deck had anything to do with it. So I never thought of that. But he left that on there just to show Inspectah Deck was in the building, just to give him some kind of credit for, you know what I'm saying, even though his verse was taken off.
Actual royalties for
any writer credit on that?
Yeah, because it's like a one little, part, but at the same time, I'm on it. So
yeah, that's true. But I don't know, but that's my theory as far as why everybody feel like the verse was so fire that it was the best one on the track. It's because it's got taken off.
Right.
So anytime something is missing now, that was the best thing ever, man. I wish I still had that. That girl, she was the love of my life, and she gone. She might have been trash, but you just. But she gone now, so it's like, what could have been, what would have been, and that verse ain't easy to come by. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not easy to come by because it's on YouTube.
Exactly, because you had to search and find it. So everybody like they heard it once or twice and was like, oh, that was dope. Ain't heard it in 15 years, and now 15, 20 years, so now they like,
It's almost like
that was the best. They should have never took that off. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like it should have been on there, but I think everybody think it was so great because it got taken off, and that's just my theory. Although it is a dope verse, don't mistake me. Verse. Don't mistake me for saying the verse ain't dope or I'm hating on the verse or nothing. I'm not. It's a dope verse. It's just not, in my opinion, the best verse on the song.
No,
it ain't the best verse on the song.
Yeah. Like I said, all the verses was good. Not to say that his don't match up to theirs, but it wasn't the best one. Now we can argue about that on a lot of songs on who got the best verse. But I just feel, I mean, it's off of the song. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, would it change the vibes if it was on? It was actually on.
I don't think it would change the vibe of the song because it's a collab type vibe. You know what I'm saying? Somebody popping in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would change the vibe. It just made the song longer. And I think at that point, Pac probably felt like the song was long enough, cut it out, the music, the beat ended, just stop it right there.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I do like it, like the actual verse. And,
I do too.
Listening to it now with the beats and stuff and just hearing it, it's like, oh,
that's the thing on that beat. That's why I said it wouldn't have changed the vibe.
Yeah.
It would have flowed right along with them. Now, I don't know how this is true, how true this is either. You ready for this? Snoop or Daz, I think Daz said that Nas was on the record originally and Pac took him off.
I think I heard you say that too.
I seen it. I'd seen a little clip where Daz was like, Nas was on it, but Pac took him off because of all the stuff that was going on. Pac, now that one didn't have nothing to do with the beat ending and nothing like that.
That was because of the beef. I know that.
Yeah, Dad said Pac took him off. Now, is that true? I don't know how true it is. I don't know, but oh my God, if we could have got Nas on that.
Well, it's just like hearing that Pac was supposed to be on Street Dreams. Like, bruh, what?
Well, Nas was going to shoot the Street Dreams video,
and Pac was supposed to be there.
He was going to be in the video.
Yes. That would have been dope as heck.
Man, we might could have got a Street Dreams remix with Pac on it.
Him and Pac, like what? That would have been dope.
See how we just said, man, we could have had. It would have been so dope. That's how people feel about that Inspectah Deck verse.
Inspectah Deck verse, which I like it. It's a dope verse.
Dope. It's dope.
It is a dope verse. I never heard it, and
man said I sound so underground. I write my rhymes on fossils.
Yeah.
That was tough, but it wouldn't have changed the vibe of the song. It would have still been. It would have been just as dope, and it would have flowed right in with them.
Yeah,
you know,
it would have. It wasn't off. It didn't seem awkward.
Nah,
I can tell you.
It'd have flowed right in with them. So,
but that INS the Rebel though. Now knowing that, because all this time and all these years have gone by, and I always wondered why is that at the end of the song the whole time. And it just was like, okay, well, maybe somebody was just talking in the background.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I ain't thinking,
And you never think about it until after it's like, years later. Now look at us, like what, 20-something years later.
I never knew.
Like,
I never knew. As much as a hip hop head as I am, and much as I'll be all into that stuff, I never knew. I was like, what?
It's so much.
And I've heard that before, but I never knew the verse was out here. That I could actually go listen to it. I'm like, when I found out, I was like, wait a minute, we got to react to that because we was about to listen to it the other day.
We were,
but we stopped. Shout out to my daughter, Shelly Shell, Meechy Meech. She was like, don't y'all want to, I was like, you're right. Let's get the people. Let's react to it on camera because we was about to listen to it the other night, but. I'm glad we, held it for this, but I'm overall, on a 1 to 10, I get a verse like a 8.5 or something like that. I say 8.5, 8.5 as far as the verse on the scale of 1 to 10. I give it an 8.5. What you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9 because it had the vibes of the song. And that's what I was making a point at it. Like, would it still change the vibes of the actual song if it was on there? And listening to it, he would have flowed right in with everybody else. It would have still been a dope song. So I'm giving it based off of that. because the bars is there and the vibes was there. So
Yeah.
the only
sure.
reason, like, it's so, like, as far as it being left off, it was just left off because Pac was about to get on there and drop bars. That's my thinking behind
Pac
it.
was just ending the song.
It was all about Pac at the time anyway. His album was about to come out. He just got out of jail. He gonna be on all the songs. Everybody can't wait to hear from him. So somebody got to go, basically, and that's what happened. And why not be on there with, not to say Inspectah Deck wasn't popular or whatever during that time.
He wasn't as popular as Meth and Red.
Exactly. I was going to
also think, along the lines of what you're saying, I think this might have changed, not changed, but enhanced the popularity of Inspectah Deck. If Deck was on that record, if Deck was on that song, a whole lot more people would have known about Inspectah Deck, and became fans of Inspectah Deck off of that song. Yeah, because Pac at the time, Pac was, and not to say Wutang wasn't big, but Wutang had, it's a certain fan base for Wutang. Pac was, I mean, not to say it wasn't a certain fan base for Pac, but it was huge to the point where a lot of people would have got hip to Inspectah Deck off of this song had he been on it. But
we can't discredit it, Inspectah Deck, like that, because it ain't like he wasn't popular.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he would have been more popular.
Right. But what I was going to say is he is popular to some people that listen to Wu-Tang. If you listen to Wu-Tang on a regular, you have your popular people already. Because if you talk on Wu-Tang, everybody going to tell you who their favorites are. My thing is to push him up to the point where he's on a Raekwon, Ghost, Method Man type of
that's my
level.
Point. That's my point. He wasn't on that level. Okay,
but I'm not saying that he wasn't popular. What I'm saying is on the next level, which is on another level, which is like Meth. He's part of Wu-Tang, so he stood out a little more, like a lot of them have. Like, it's a lot of them in the Wu-Tang Clan, so a lot of them didn't get a lot of shine as some of them, and he was one of them that was definitely worthy of the shine. He was, and I peeped him a long time ago too when Wu-Tang was around. Like, he wasn't like under the radar, nobody knew about him. It was just, he never
had a big hit. Meth had a big hit at the time. Meth was on the song with Mary. He had I don't know what years was exactly, but I don't know if Meth's solo album was out yet. But Meth was on. He was a big part on Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me, and then the Meth and Mary. So Meth was popular, like, on that.
Yeah, I know.
Raekwon had a big part on the Cash Rules Everything Around Me too,
because it was on his album.
Exactly. So they were more popular, and I'm not saying. All I'm saying is Deck hadn't had that big popularity moment yet, where it was like he was a main. Not even gonna say mainstream, but
he had his glimpses though.
He was just a part of Wu-Tang.
Right. But he had certain songs that he stood out in, like the one that you posted on TikTok. He stood out in that one. Definitely.
Yeah, Triumph.
Yeah, the Triumph one.
That opening verse was one of the dopest opening verses ever.
So that's what I'm saying. He had his glimpses. And I'm not saying that to say that he ain't got no good songs, because you have to understand the Wu-Tang Clan themselves and the fan base, they gonna swear by Inspectah Deck. I'm just saying, as far as somebody like me and you or anybody outside of that who are fans of Wu-Tang but don't really listen a whole lot to them, certain albums and certain songs, but certain people, that's different for us. So to see him stand out, it's like, okay, yeah, he stood out in this song, that song. So that's the only thing I'm saying is that sometimes you have to understand, you have your Wu-Tang fan base who swear by and probably will give you a list of songs underneath these comments about how many
what I'm saying is that's a certain group of people. Right. Everybody wasn't Wu-Tang fan base. I said that. So, right. So what I'm saying is him being on that song would have took him out of just that Wu-Tang fan base and into the main fan base like Meth was and like Raekwon and Ghost was.
Right.
They was the only three to me out of Wu that was that had popularity outside of their diehard cult following, which was huge. Which was huge. They following was huge. Period. Wutang was one of the biggest groups ever. But I'm saying Meth, Ghost, Raekwon was even more popular because of their solo projects and because of the collabs and stuff that they had. And Deck hadn't had that yet. This, I think, would have done that for him.
If he would,
and that's all I'm saying. That song would have done that for him, where he would have became a household name even more. Mm-hmm. More people will have, you know what I'm saying, just automatically known Inspectah Deck. Right. Some people to this day don't know Inspectah Deck. I mean, if you know hip hop, you do, but some people, if they just know Wutang, they don't know Inspectah Deck. They just know Method Man. They don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think this song though would have did that for him. Yeah. Like, and because I think it would have led to other stuff. Had he been on that song, I think the collaborations, he would have been on other stuff. And I think his solo project would have hit more.
Yeah, that's what I agree. I mean, of course, you know, if once you get a solo project, of course you go, especially if he rapping like this,
right? But
he never disappointed me anytime that he's rapped. So,
but I'm saying the popularity of it would have took off more from being on that. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. But again, I think it's stuff be better when it's gone. Like when it's gone or you almost had it, or man, we could have had that verse. Man, we could have had, like when you almost had it, just all of a sudden it's the best thing in the world. Like if you fish and you got a fish on the line and it's tugging, it's pulling, you know what I'm saying, your pole bending over, and at the last minute it get away. Man, by the time you get home and tell that story, that thing was this big. It was pulling, had me sweating. I couldn't, it almost drug me in the water. And it could have been a regular little small fish. But in your mind, dang, I almost had it. And because you didn't really get to see it, it's like, man, that fish was probably huge. Mm-hmm. It just the one that got away. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's the stature of it is bigger because it just ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't there no more. So I think that's what happened with Deck's verse though. So I don't feel like it would have been the best verse on the song, but it is a dope verse.
It is a dope verse.
It would have been in the mix. It wouldn't have been the worst verse on the song, but it wouldn't have been the best. That's my thought.
No, we would have been talking about it though.
Yeah,
definitely would have been.
And we would have been talking about him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And I think that would have led to more collaborations in the future for him, and I think he would have been bigger as a solo star, all off that record. That's what I think. I could be wrong though, but that's what I think. Yeah. But overall, dope verse. I can't believe it took me 20 years to hear it.
Telling your age.
20 years. I ain't telling my age. Yeah, everybody know when this came out, and everybody know when it is now. So regardless of, as far as you know, if it was 20 years ago, I'm 21. So that ain't telling my age. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, overall, it's still a dope verse, and I like I said, can't believe it took this long for me to even hear it. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely good to hear.
I'm glad we got to hear it. I'm glad it was recorded. Like I'm glad somebody still got it, because otherwise it'd just be one of them mysteries like, you know, Deck was supposed to be on there and he killed it, and then nobody can vouch for it. Nobody can, you know what I'm saying, prove it or nothing. But when I found out the verse was out there, I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. Oh, I need to hear that for sure.
Yeah. Definitely dope worthy. So
yeah.
So glad I got to hear it too. So
all right. So 8.5 for me. It's 8.5 for me. 9 for her. This was a little different. You know what I mean? Let us know how y'all like this style. Although I'm letting you know now, we ain't doing this on everyone for copyright purposes and all that. Y'all know how it works. YouTube will, you know, copyright your video. You ain't getting paid or none of that. You know, not that we even do this for the money. We just love the hip hop. But, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, yeah, we ain't doing this on every video. But let us know how y'all like this format, because we will do it every now and then if that's what y'all, you know, that's what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? We for the people. Take it to the lab, give the people what they want.
Yeah, what they want.
8.5 for me, 9 for her. But you know what we just did? We just took you to the lab. Let's